Today I'll be watching Attack on Titan, episodes 3 and 4. So in the first two episodes, we learn that it has been 100 years that humanity has been safe behind walls. There are three major walls: Maria, Rose, and the innermost Sheena. At the very beginning of the series, we're introduced to Eren, who is asleep and is going back and forth between these beautiful visions and these destructive, scary, Titan-filled visions. He and Mikasa, a friend, are picking up sticks, and on their way back home, they run into some guards who are drinking. He's very upset that these men who are supposed to be on duty and keeping the people safe are drinking on the job. But the guard tells him, if we actually have to do our job, it's already too late. And here we realize that Eren wants to join up, be a member of the cadets that keeps humanity safe. Eren and Mikasa live in this town called Shiganshina, which is actually like a little semicircle that juts out from the outermost Wall Maria. And we learn that this is done in order to draw the Titans' attention away. It's almost like a decoy city. Mikasa immediately narks to Eren's parents about his intentions to join the cadets, and we see that Eren's mother is furious and upset and begging him not to. Meanwhile, Eren's father just asks him why. Eren explains that he wants to keep humanity safe, and if this tradition doesn't continue, if they don't keep up this guard, then what have all the deaths that came before mean? He not only wants to keep humanity safe, but he wants to fight back against the Titans. Eren's father then tells him, the next time I see you, I'm going to show you the truth that's in the basement, and shows him this key. So of course we know that we're not going to see him for a while. Eren and Mikasa go to a welcome home parade for some soldiers that were fighting Titans beyond Wall Maria. And when a distraught mother is holding the remains of her son, she asks, please just tell me that he made a difference in the fight against the Titans. And at first this captain says, yes, of course. But then he breaks down and says, no, of course not. It made no difference. Once again, we have not found anything out. We do not know how to destroy them. Instead of deterring Eren, he really does seem to dig his heels in. After this, they save their friend Armin. More precisely, Mikasa's presence saves their friend Armin. And we learn that Armin too is thinking outside of the walls. He was being beaten up and called a heretic because he wants to know what's beyond Wall Maria. It's shortly after this that we see lightning, and a massive smoking Titan reaches over the walls. Eren and Mikasa run back to their house, and there Eren finds his mother trapped under the roof. He and Mikasa are not strong enough to lift it off of her, and even so, she says her legs have been crushed. She would have to be carried. That's when the guard from earlier shows up and starts to go after the closest Titan that's turned its attention on them. But instead, he makes a calculated and smart decision to take Eren and Mikasa and run off with them. Such a heartbreaking scene where Eren's mother is saying thank you and telling them to run off while she covers her mouth and begging them to stay. That is where the first episode ends. And then in the second episode, we pick right back up. Eren is distraught that he wasn't strong enough to save his mother. And the guard who saves him says, I wasn't courageous enough to take on that Titan by myself, but I knew I could save you two, and that's what your mother wanted. They end up on a boat with Armin and Armin's grandfather, and they are heading deeper into humanity's civilization. Except the chaos isn't over yet. There's now a third type of Titan we're seeing. There's these regular Titans. There was that smoking, muscular, post-lightning Titan. And now there's this like third, extra muscular, roided out looking Titan. It breaches the gate. Eren, Mikasa, and Armin are now refugees, and the area they've been moved to is already having food shortages. The central government ends up sending about 250,000 citizens back to try and take back the wall, and only 200 survived. We see the anger that Eren feels now that he is without his family, and his anger at being looked down upon now that he's a refugee, something he had no control over. And Mikasa reminds him that take the food even though they give it to you with an attitude, because again, we won't be able to seek revenge. We won't be able to strike out against the Titans if we're weak, if we're not well fed, if we're dead. And the second episode ends and we see Eren, Mikasa, and Armin have joined the cadets, a program that will take them 3 years. Is Eren psychic? Or is he having these memories that have been suppressed that he is somehow remembering? At the beginning of episode 1, we see him witnessing what's about to happen. We see him, before it happens, the Titans attacking Shiganshina. And then later on, we see him waking up with the key around his neck and visions of him telling his father, "You've gone mad since mother's died. What are you doing?" And his father's trying to inject him with something. And at the beginning of episode 1, we learn that Eren's father's a respected doctor that had saved the town from a huge epidemic years earlier. And I feel like that's not just information that's dropped for no reason. I feel like that's important. And what is in that basement? When is Eren going to return? Because he now has the key. How did he get that key? But he has the key. He was injected with something. Did his father, when he saved the town from this epidemic, what else did he possibly inject them with, if he did? How is Mikasa related to Eren? Because Eren is always saying, my parents, not our parents, but they were saying our home, and it seemed as though she lived there, and she hasn't mentioned her parents at all. So I don't know if she's just a local or a family friend that they've taken in, but also people are fearful of her, and she puts a hand to her head at one point and says, "Not again," when the Titans are attacking. It's curious altogether that Eren's father left right before this attack happened. Either it was well timed or it was poorly timed, and perhaps it was an attempt on him, but it was just curious timing. I remember he did look concerned racing home after the attack, but just curious timing. I also want to know why Shiganshina exists to begin with. Why are we putting citizens? We learned that the citizens who live in this area that juts out, that is meant to distract the Titans from Wall Maria, that they had more land, that they had more resources, according to Mikasa, because when they're refugees, and she's saying, you know, they looked down on us because we already had better resources than them. They were already experiencing a food shortage, and now we're here to take what little they have. So yes, they get better resources living there, but it's still questionable why that's not like a penal colony or something. You're telling me nobody commits a crime? Was this perhaps also an attempt to move outward slowly? Since again, the resources, the land seemed to be better for farming and growing food. Was this the government's attempt to try and reach out? The government using its own citizens as bait almost seems too comically evil. Again, why not make it a penal colony? But is it supposed to be like too obvious? Like, am I supposed to think that, but it's done for a different reason? Or the citizens that lived there, did they try to overthrow the government in the past, like 100 years ago? Is their punishment to live in this area? The walls themselves, Rose, Maria, and Sheena, I saw the crests were 3 women. Is that just world and lore building, or do those hold some sort of significance? Do those women hold some sort of significance? And again, seems comically evil for the government to send 250,000 people to a sure death. There's a food shortage. There's a bunch of titans running around that eat humans. Let's send the humans out there and try to take back the land. And, you know, the worst case scenario, there's a less of a food shortage for us. Again, need to know, I'm reviewing my notes again, I need to know what Aaron's father injected him with, and if he injected the other townspeople with something. The show itself is called Attack on Titan, not Attacked by Titans. So is this, if we know nothing beyond Wall Maria, I'm guessing the central government does know something about what's beyond Wall Maria. Are these Titans tools of another kingdom that are just sent in a constant attack and constant waves to just keep this kingdom in check? Or are they a government construct meant to keep the people in check? Because also, those mega Titans that showed up, they breached into Shiganshina, they breached into Wall Maria, but they didn't keep going. They stopped, and the episode kind of just stopped. So why did they stop? Why didn't they keep going towards the center? Did they run out of energy at some point? Or what happened? We didn't see. So many questions, and I know I'm probably not going to get any answers for a while, but just letting you know that that's currently what's on my mind, what I'm thinking about going into these next episodes. Now I have to always look at the Titans, though, and see if I recognize any faces. Oh, and something else I had noticed, I don't know if it was just because they were cadets, but I noticed the guards had flowers on their shields and on their insignias, whereas in the cadets they had the 2 swords, so I don't know if it had different significance. A dim light amid despair, humanity's comeback, part 1. We're making a comeback. Armin. He's so much smaller than everybody else. okay. He wants to be safe in the interior. This is pretty bold.
それは何故人は芋を食べるのかという話でしょうか。半分どうぞ。まだ走らされてるぞ。すごいな。5時間ぶっ通しか。あれは
脱落者よ。開拓地への移動を願ったの。
The reclaimed wasteland.
こいつと同じ志願しなくだ。見たことあるのか、超大型巨人。
The class is Titan. Okay.
だから見たことあるって。皮膚がほとんどなくて口がでかかったな。じゃあ普通の巨人は？もう質問はよそう。思い出したこともあるだろう。実際大したことね。俺たちが立体、俺は調査兵団に入ってこの世から巨人を駆逐する。
今お前調査兵団に入るって言ったのか？
お前は確か憲兵団に入って楽したいんだっけ？
心底怯えながらも勇敢気取ってやがるやつよりは。
Is that bedtime?
あんたの考えを否定したいわけじゃないんだ。これで手打ちにしよう。
We're on the same side.
ああ、俺も悪かったよ。
Someone's in love with Mikasa.
すまない。とても綺麗な黒髪だ。
どうも。
そんなことよりお前髪長すぎやしねえか。
切ろう。
Yeah, and like, why does she listen to him? Ew.
人との信頼だ。
それだけしかないけど、取っておいたの。神様ですか？あなたが神！
おい、いいことしようとしてるだろ。それは芋女のためにやったのか。お前の得たものはその労力に見合っ。とにかくこいつをベッドまで運ぶぞ。こいつに貸しを作って恩に着せるためだ。こいつのバカさには期待できる。
まずは貴様らの適性を見る。これができない奴はおとりにも使えん。
Okay, so we're learning to use the 3D device.
この素質は見て取れる。全くブレがない。何をどうすればいいのか全てわかるのだろう。たとえ気合が十分でも人並み以上にできないこともある。何をやっているエレン・イェーガー、状態を起こせ。
And he'll figure it out. He has the determination.
うまくやろうとか考えなくていい。前後のバランスに気をつけて。
落ち着いてやればできるよ。僕にだってできたんだから。
Little Armin.
昨日巨人を皆殺しにしてやるとか言ってたやつだよな。
まあ明日には開拓地域だろう。
命を投げ打つことだけが戦うことじゃない。
俺はあの日あの光景を見ちまったんだぞ。
兵士になれるかどうか判断するのは私は何も。
行こうぜ。
エレンだけ開拓地に戻れと言ってるんじゃない。その時は私も一緒に行くから。
Oh, he's gone.
それもらってもいいってことですか？人が頭下げて頼んでるのに。でもさ、お前昨日力のないものは去ればいいって言ってなかったっけ？
He did say that, but
二人は志願しなくの出身だよね。なのにどうして兵士を目指すの？
僕はエレンと違って直接巨人の脅威を目の当たりにしたわけじゃない。あんなめちゃくちゃな奪還作戦を強行した王政があることを考えると。二人はどこの出身なの？
ウォールマリア南東の山奥の村出身なんだ。川沿いの栄えた町とは違って連絡より先に巨人が来たから。
oh, they didn't even know. No warning. Oof, that's gotta be terrifying. They can relate.
君たちは彼らとは違うだろってことなんだけど、安全な内地に勤務できる憲兵団狙いで、それがダメだったら全て放棄するかもしれない。
俺は帰れなくなった子、絶対に何としてもだ。
君はなんで兵士に？
殺さなきゃならねえと思った。
巨人と遭遇しても心が折れることはなかったっていう。
まあ今となっては兵士になれるかどうかってとこだけど。
Animation is beautiful.
お前ならやれるはずだ。エレン・イェーガーだったっけ？
ああ、ありがとうよ。ライナー・ブラウンだよな。
Okay, Aaron, we got this.
エレン・イェーガー、覚悟はいいか？
Come on, Aaron.
俺にはそれしかねえ。これが俺の武器だ。できた。
What happened?
ワグナー、イェーガーとベルトの交換をしろ。貴様が使用していたベルトの金具が破損していた。ここが破損するなど聞いたことはないが。
では適正判断は？
問題ない。修練に励め。
やった。
Did Mikasa do that?
ジンとも戦える。もうお前に世話を焼かれることもねえな。でどうだって言ってるよ。
これで私と離れずに済んだと思って安心してる。
グリシャ、今日お前の息子が。
Grisha. Yeah, looks like he got the hang of it. To be continued. So quick intermission. So does his captain, does his trainer know his father? Because he said you'd be proud your son became a soldier today. Because his mother's name was Carla, right? Did Mikasa mess with that belt? Again, what is Mikasa's relationship to Eren? It was nice to meet some new characters. I'm assuming that some will be with us for the long haul and some are going to break our hearts. I want to know more about the central government, about the king. All right, and that was part 1, so let's head into part 2.
突然現れた超大型巨人および
Colossal
呪い
and
の巨人に
Armored
よって
Titans.
100年の空腹から解き放たれた巨人
Released from their 100 years of hunger, the
再び
Titans.
駐輪。人類はウォールマリアを放棄。2割の人口と3分の1の領土を失い。
Night of the Detachment Ceremony. Humanity's Comeback, Part 2. Year 850. 2 years since. So it's been 2 years since enlistment, and they said that cadets is 3 years. Come on, Norman.
貴様だけ装備を外すか。風。このままじゃ脱落組だぞ。アイナー・ブラウン。屈強な体格と精神力を併せ持ち。
He's leadership material. No man left behind. Oh.
アルミン・アルレルト。体力面で劣るものの。
Looks like bread.
アニ・レオンハート。斬撃に火の打ちどころがないが連帯性に難があり、これベルトルト・フーバー。潜在能力は極めて高いが積極性に欠けるジャン・キルシュタイン。立体機動はトップクラスだが抜き見すぎる性格が圧力。サシャ・ブラウス。型破りな勘の良さがあるがそれゆえに組織行動には無。コニー・スプリンガー。小回りの利く軌道が得意。しかし頭の回転がややに。ミカサ・アッカーマン。あらゆる科目を完全にこなす。歴代でも類のない逸材との評。エレン・イエーガー。目立った特技はないが他ならぬ努力で成績を伸ばした。そして人一倍強い目的意識を持つ。
And that can take you a long way. Where does Mikasa come from? They've never seen the likes of her. Not bad.
悪い。力の加減が下手でよ。兵士が人なんか相手にしてどうする。
俺たちは兵士だろ。いくら不利な状況でも逃げてはいけない時が大砲でも格闘術でも使いこなしてな。
Well, also, if you're military police, I guess you'll have to take on, like,
バレないよ
bad
うにうまいこと
guys.
サボってるな。
Or they're being trained to take on the citizens if they ever revolt.
教えてやろうじゃないか。
は？
それ以上身長を縮めたくなかったらここに来た時を思い出して真面目にやるんだな。
すげえ怒ってる。
Uh-oh.
そら始めるぞエレン。
俺？
I think Aaron's about to get his ass kicked.
知ってるよな。行くぞ。
まだだ。関東を取り上げるまでが訓練だ。
待てよ兄。これにはやり方があるんだって。
次はあんたが私を襲う番だね。
He'll pass.
やれよライナ。兵士としての責任を。
兵士には引けない状況がある。今がそうだ。
すげえ技術だな。誰からか教わったのか。親父さんがこの技術の。
どうでもいい。内地に行く権利をもらえるのは成績上位10人だけだからね。真面目にやってるのはあんたらのようなバカ正直な奴らか。では巨人に対抗する力を高めた者ほど巨人から離れられる。
Ah, interesting.
それが人の本質だからでは。とにかく私はこのくだらない世界で兵士。
お前は戦士にとことん向かんようだな。
奴らは巨人から離れるために巨人殺しの技術を高めてやがる。
Yep.
王の近くでの仕事なんてこんな光栄なことはない。
憲兵団に入るのは内地での安全で快適な暮らしが待ってるから。
5年前までは内地だったんだぞ。お前の脳内は快適だと思うぞ。巨人から遠ざかるために巨人殺しの技術を磨くって仕組みをよ。
今さら何言ってんだ。
やめなよ。やめなさい。
なんてどうでもいいだろうが羨ましい。
はあ？何言ってんだ。
I'm jealous of you.
ただ感情を発散しているだけの今までの俺だ。今は違う。この場を収める。
Oh, what? Used his anger against him.
お前がチンタラやってる間に痛い目にあって学んだ格闘術だ。
今しがた大きな音が聞こえたが誰か説明してもらおうか。
No.
サシャが放棄した音です。
お敵様か。
そして訓練生218名が
218.
3つの選択肢がある。壁の強化に努め、犠
Okay.
牲を覚悟して
Okay, here's what I was asking about earlier, what those mean.
王の下で民を統制。憲兵団を希望できるのは先ほど発表した成績上位10名だけだ。
今度は俺たちが
Interesting, because I thought they were going to try Sasha Kai. Of course, Mikasa #1. I thought that he was going to try and score lower to be sent out. Because you haven't gotten a hold of your anger like he has.
内地で暮らすためじゃない。巨人と戦うためなんだからな。
勝てるわけない。今まで何万人食われたか。人口の2割以上失って答えは出たんだ。人類は巨人に勝てない。
Yes, we can.
負けはしたが、戦いで得た情報は確実に次の希望につながる。30万の犠牲で得た戦術の発達を放棄して、おとなしく巨人の餌になるのか。それが俺の夢だ。人類はまだ本当に敗北したわけじゃない。
And that's why he scored so much higher than other people.
来たきゃ壁の外でもどこでも行け。
僕は調査兵団に入る。お前、座学はトップなんだからそれを生かせよ。
私も調査兵団にする。
おい、お前は首席だろ。憲兵団にしろよ。
エレンは私と一緒にいないと早死にするから。
Why?
もうこれ以上家族を失いたくない。
エルヴィン団長、巨人ども。
Commander Elvin.
5年前とは全然違うな。調査兵団にこんなに期待する人たちがいる。
Things are different.
もう5年も何もないし。
ハンネスさん。
Look who it is.
卒業したってな。
ダクレが公平部隊長だもんな。
こいつ。お前の母さん助けられなくて。
ハンネスさんのせいじゃない。
You saved him and Mikasa.
必ず巨人に勝つ。
成長したと喜んでいいのかどうか。
調査兵団にするって？コニー、お前あれだけ憲兵団がいいって。エレ
ンの昨日の演説が効いたみたいね。
俺は自分で決めたんだよ。
他の食料庫からお肉取ってきました。
バカって怖え。
後で皆さんで分けましょう。土地が減ってから肉なんてすっごく貴重になったんだから。土地を奪還すればまた牛も羊も買えますから。
There we go.
俺もその肉食う。俺も食うんだから取っとけよ。
Things are different. They're starting to change. The best decided to be at the soldiers.
ようやく尊厳を取り戻しつつある。勝てる。
Is that really happening right now? Yeah, what timing, right? Wow, they are being put to the test right away. Got him? Yeah, there's about to be titans coming through. Let's go. Things are different. To be continued. Once again, some very interesting timing for that colossal titan to show up. Last time it showed up when Armin, Mikasa, and Eren were talking about Beyond the Walls and doing things differently. And now again, we have Eren talking about doing things differently. He gave this rallying speech, and instead of going closer to the interior to protect the king, they decided to be closer to the Titans to fight for humanity to take back land. And then wouldn't you know, the colossal Titan shows up. Mikasa said, I don't want to lose any more family. So still don't know where she came from in her relation to Eren other than they consider each other family, which they are. I wasn't expecting the moments of comedy, and it's just really refreshing. And also I love the sense of humor. I say this is one of those shows, but like all the shows I'm watching right now, I love going back through editing. I essentially watch each episode like 3 times between watching it, going back through and editing it, and I just love noticing different details every time. And then I just have more and more questions. But we found out about like the other military branches or the other positions that you can hold. And yeah, I don't have much else to say. I think I'm just going to have more to say obviously at the beginning of the next episode after I go through and watch again and have some notes and have some more absolutely have more questions. Number one being, Are we ready to take on, are we going to take on a colossal titan? This is like day one on the job. Also really gross because we stole that meat that we were about to eat. Spud stole that meat, and the colossal titan kind of looks like the meat that we stole. Kind of gross. Okay, another 2 great episodes. I will see you in